In northern Uganda, inside a UNHCR refugee camp, two mothers wait for safety, for dignity, for a place to call home. Jane. At just 35, she's a single mother of two bright daughters aged 12 and 13. She fled South Sudan in 2016 after witnessing her neighbor tortured and murdered outside their home, accused of being a government supporter. That night, Jane clutched her daughter's hands and fled into the dark. They walked for a full day, hiding in bushes, barefoot, afraid, carrying only what they could hold. They crossed the border into Uganda on Christmas Eve. By Christmas morning, they were registered as refugees. Since then, they've lived in Morobi camp, inside a tent with no locks, no running water, and no protection from the men who prowl at night. Jane is an educated woman, trained in mechanical engineering. But in the camp, there are no jobs, only survival. Yangi Margaret, a widow and mother of 4. She fled Kajo with her husband and children in 2016 after 2 of her brothers were abducted and 3 relatives were killed. But the road to Uganda broke her heart. Along the way, her 5-year-old child collapsed from exhaustion and hunger. She buried him in the bush with her own hands and kept walking, holding her other children, desperate to get them to safety. They now survive in the same refugee camp, scraping by on cut food rations and firewood they sell in markets. Her children's school fees are impossible to afford, and when she applies for work, she's told there's none available except volunteer labor. In these camps, children are growing up with trauma, not toys, and mothers like Jane and Yangi are asked to carry more than anyone ever should. Now, Hope in Your Hearts Inc. is connected with Jane and Yangi through a sponsorship agreement holder in Ontario. We are ready to bring them and their children to Canada through the IRCC's private refugee sponsorship program. We've set a realistic resettlement plan, a peaceful home, support for education, health, and language learning, and direct care from our own resettlement agency right here in Toronto. But we cannot do it alone. With your support, we can sponsor these families and carry them through their first year, offering food, housing, dignity, and a future. They've lived for years under tarps and tents. They've endured war, grief, and unimaginable loss. They've carried the weight of war. Now it's our turn. Let's carry them to peace.